So what's that on the right side there? That's Carillion photography. And it's measuring the aura of, it's a cabbage leaf, okay? So the one above is this, let's say the one below is the live food cabbage leaf. You can see the life force energy. And the one above is the same cabbage leaf cooked. Doesn't look like it has much energy, does it? Okay? That's what we're talking about. So one thing, if we're going to think ecologically, is when we cook the food, we process it, then we boil it, we do whatever we're doing, it's actually breaking up the ecological wholeness. So when we're doing live food, it's really, it's the way God gave it to us through ecology. So it actually supports a consciousness of ecological wholeness. Just think about that for a moment. Now, the next thing is the research by Dr. Pop, and it increases the biophoton energy. Now, let me explain what that means, because you can see it right there. But basically, a person who is eating a lot of junk food has about 1,000 biophoton units coming off of them. Because this is, actually, one day they showed up at my house and they had this little machine where they can measure biophotons. Like, who are you? Well, okay, anyway. And if you're just do cooked vegan, okay, plant-based, you got about 23,000 biophotons coming off. Newborn baby is 43,000. And a person doing live food is 83,000. 83 times more than the junk food. So energy is a big deal. If you add certain herbs, I call them the tonic herbs, longevity herbs, mostly from China, you get up to 116,000. So you can see, hey, it does make a difference. And that's what you're seeing here, is the biophoton energy coming off. What's that? A cosmic eye. No, it's a sprout. And why do we recommend sprouts? Well, you can look and see. There's just a whole lot of energy there. Okay. Now, what happens with live food is, oh, well, let me put it this way. When you cook food, you lose 50% of the protein. It coagulates. You lose 60 to 70% of the vitamins and minerals, and you lose about 95% of the phytonutrients. So it's really quite depleted. So you can literally eat half as much on the live food diet and get all the nutrients you need. And that's the key. So what happens is, and I don't call it a restriction, but you just don't need to eat that much. I mean, literally, I eat 1 meal a day. And I'm the same weight as when I graduated from high school. Okay? So it's like my weight's stable. And the idea of the right weight is your kind of optimal physical, mental, and kind of healthy weight. That's kind of what we're talking about when we're saying it. And then you know if it's right because it just stays the same. That's how you know when you're on the mark. Okay. So what Dr. Spindler found from the University of San Diego was that if you cut down your calories by 40%, you get a 400% activation of the anti-aging genes, the anti-cancer genes, the anti-diabetes genes, and the anti-inflammatory genes. Now, that's really important. Inflammation is the driving force behind all diseases. So, wow, we just had a huge increase in your life force and your life and longevity potential just by eating half as much. Now, we know from the Ayurvedic and other teachings, the less you eat, the longer you live. It's not new information, but he just took it to another level, talking about turning on the anti-aging genes. Okay, that's good. Anti-diabetic genes. Oh, that's good too. So that was a real breakthrough. But it has to do with you're eating energy, not calories. If you just think calories, it's very gross and you're missing the point. Just like you saw the difference between the cooked cabbage and the raw cabbage, live food cabbage, it's energy. That's what we're eating. That's why you have more energy. Because the sunlight comes down, it gets captured by the plants, then we take it into us, and it transfers the energy to us. If it goes to a cow, it gets most of the energy. So it's a big thing. So you want to get that sun energy right from us. This is a true story. As a 4-year Sundancer and Eagle dancer, everybody else who was dancing got sunburned. And there are really a lot of different things. I probably had the lightest skin. I didn't get sunburned. For 4 years, I didn't get sunburned. And you're out in the sun all day long. And you have, well, wait, for Sundance you wear a skirt, but you have nothing up top. And it's like, oh, why don't I get sunburned? Well, the reason is, actually I had to pursue, why am I getting sunburned? 4 years in a row, not a fluke. Like Eagle Dance, you stand from sunrise to sunset, hooked to the tree. It's a long story, but I'm just making a point. I'm out in the sun. There's no doubt about that. Okay, that's why it's called Sundance. So what it is as I realize is eating a 100% live food diet, I am eating sunlight. So you don't, also during the Sundance, you don't eat for 4 days. You don't eat or drink. And I was the only one out of 52 people to be able to do that for 4 years. But the point is, why? Because I'm eating the sunlight directly. It's not going to burn me because I'm already eating it and I've been eating it for years. So that's why I didn't get sunburned. Now, that was like a little bit of a mind blower for me, but I got it. And there's some researchers in Germany working with people with cancer, and they found that, again, people who were doing live foods as part of the healing could be out in the sun 4 times longer. So it kind of fits with that story. But that's really interesting. So when you're doing live foods, you are eating the sunlight. You don't get burnt. Okay? So that was like a wake-up call. The live foods also increases the cells of battery. The live food increases the battery potential. When our battery is discharged, that's why we don't have any energy. When we're eating the live food, we're charging the battery, and every little cell is a battery. You have a lot more energy. So that's what Dr. Eppinger discovered. And then the genetic upgrade is just what we've been talking about, Coleth. Enzyme preservation, not quite as much as people think as the main reason for live foods. I put it probably the 10th reason. It's not that important, and like only 10-15% of the protein is the enzymes come through, and it's not as much as it's a little over exaggerated. Live food is alkalizing, mineralizing. In 1936, the U.S. Congress said 99% of Americans are deficient in minerals. I don't think it's gotten better. Okay, it hasn't. Okay, I mentioned the bowel toxicity because you go going from 24 to 36 hours with live food to 40 to 100 hours. And so there's a lot more bowel toxicity going on. You just don't have that many live food people with constipation. It does happen. There's always an exception. It's not the rule, okay? The heating the carbohydrates causes acrylic acid, acrylamide, which tends to cause cancer. Now, this is a theory by Dr. Paul Konchakov in the 1930s. And he's saying when you cook the food, you change it. And so the body makes a reaction to it. So I always like to test things. I don't take it for the truth. And so one of my students did his experiments again. And she actually found that wasn't true. Cooked food didn't, organic food did not raise your white blood count. The only thing that raised it in the whole thing was hot dogs and junk food like that. Then it was like a white blood count like you would get with ptomaine poisoning. Okay, but as short from that, it's always good to check these things out. It didn't really make much difference, but it's out there as a belief system, and it's only for junk food. And now this other thing transfers the outer light to the inner light. That's what I'm talking about, both spiritually, but also you're eating the sun. You're eating the sunlight. So sun's a little bit too much to eat. Sunlight. Okay. And it's the best diet for spiritual life because you're bringing the light into you. And that outer light is activating your inner spiritual light. And that's actually how kind of the design play is about. So what's that? It's a lemon. Look at the energy of the live food. It's a lemon. I bet you never thought about lemons that way, right? That's a radish sprout. Look at the energy. It's like, wow. That's a corn sprouting. What's that? Cacao. Cacao is incredibly powerful. It's good for your brain, good for your heart. It is actually good for chronic fatigue. It actually decreases diabetes, tends to get diabetes by 34%. It's really good on all avenues. It opens your circulation and makes heart and brain really work significantly better. But look at the energy. This may affect how you think about your food if you think it is energy. Here's it's the same person. On the right, it's what the aura looks like. This is fingerprints from with Korean photography after the person's been eating junk food for a few days. And on the left, it's the same person after they've been just eating a good organic, not even live food, just a good organic diet. You see there's a field coming out. So it just kind of validates it. Now we are like, this is inside a real living person, and that's the pineal gland, that little white area there. So we are giving off light. We literally are giving off light. That's the pituitary, giving off light. That's norepinephrine. This is epinephrine. It's wound 3.5 times. It's the crystallization. So these are hormones within ourselves. This is testosterone, that's estrogen. They're giving off light in frequencies. So now you're getting an idea. So I'm going to talk a little bit about spiritual life. This is a little bit more from a yogic point of view, but this is the paradigm. And we have Ida Pingali Shushumna. The Shushumna is the central channel. You can see it, the yellow going up. Ida Pingali are like the yin-yang kind of qualities, okay? And the Kundalini moves through those channels. There's actually 72,000 channels, but these are the 3 main ones. And why is this important? Because in my research, I discovered, because I had this meditation directive, eat and live in a way that supports the Kundalini. So I was working with a lot of people who had Kundalini awakening, kind of in India and the United States, is that meat and dairy act as a sludge or blockage to the flow of the Kundalini. So when people stop doing that, there was an increase in the flow of the Kundalini through the nadis. These are the three, those are like literally energy channels. So we have obviously, we have our blood vessel system and so forth. So there's a subtle system called the nadi system where energy flows, the Kundalini flows. And I found that when people had meat, fish, chicken, dairy, eggs, and so forth, it tended to block the flow. Well, it didn't tend to, it blocked the flow. So that was actually a little bit of an awakening to understand that. And I saw that with lots of people when they were doing it. So the key then is really just that one teaching is the nadis, the subtle spiritual flow, the subtle spiritual energy are indeed impeded by meat, fish, chicken, and dairy. The pain of misery, the pain of death the animal feels goes into you. It affects your consciousness, affects the nadis, it affects all the levels of the different bodies that we have. So that's a kind of a teaching from that. Now, ojas is the deep primordial energy. And that's what lines the nadis, it keeps too much fire. And what is good for that? Well, the omega-3s, basically plant-based protein versus meat protein, bee pollen, blue-green algae, chlorella, spirulina, coconut oil is actually really pretty good. Hemp seeds, avocados, nuts and seed milks, they play a big role in supporting the building of ojas, which protects us from the fire of the Kundalini in our nadis. The rest is part of a little bit more lecture. There are different herbs that help and so forth too. So that's from a spiritual point of view.